It is June 1st, June 1st. May monthly candle closed. The monthly candle doesn't do us any justice. All it did was just take the lows over here, but the body's way too low for me to assume that this is any kind of bullish type of candle. I still think that upcoming months and upcoming quarters will be bearish, unfortunately. The only way I will flip my bias is if we start reclaiming some levels. So real quick, I'm making the video as short as I possibly can. I'll do a detailed video once I see Wednesday range established. The monthly level is 34.9, right? I'll label this as an M monthly level. But if you go to the weekly, what does this look like to you? We basically just flipped an order block. Unfortunately, make this pink. This is your support on this order block, right? And this OB, you hit it with support, you went up. You couldn't even get above this weekly order block, unfortunately, right? We're sandwiched between these two order blocks. So if you want to delete everything, you basically tell yourself, I'm going to put one line here and I'm going to put one line here. These are the two order blocks, okay? I want to make it creative, go like this. I'm going to make it creative, go like this. You basically sandwich between 46 and 50,000 and 31 and 34K. Anything under this is bearish. Anything above this is bullish up to where we get to the point that we're going to be at this resistance. If you break above this, ideally you're going to hit all-time highs. You get above this, you ideally want to assume that $37,000, which is your daily block right there, daily block, is going to act like resistance. But at that point, you want to see something like this. Retest and go back up. This is what you want to see in a healthy scenario. But anyway, we're not there yet. Let's talk about why we're bearish right now. You broke under this weekly order block. More likely than not, this is either going to create a nice little range over here and deviate the range, which is going to probably be the healthiest type of behavior that we could do. What do I mean by that? Well, this is a very simple concept. You spend a lot of time under the order block, right? And you consolidate. You get people bored. You go up, you go down, you go up, you go down up to $34,000. You do not break above 34.5. That's going to be your weekly resistance. As soon as you get above that 34.5 on a weekly close, you want to automatically target $37,000. Now, in the healthiest scenario, you spend a lot of time here, and all you do is you go up, you come back down, you deviate, reclaim, and then you start your uptrend. This is going to be the healthiest scenario. I really do hope I see this, as opposed to me seeing a catastrophe where this thing just completely falls off the planet, right? So if you create your little range in the bottom here, you make this green. You spend a lot of time here, a month or two, up, down, deviate another range, reclaim the box again, and then start your trend up. This is going to be by far my favorite scenario, and I hope we do get it. It's going to be very healthy for us because we're still going to be in line with this channel, right? This is the perfect scenario for me, and I really hope we do get it. All this is invalidated, obviously, if we get a weekly candle close above $34,000, 34.5, and everything starts looking a lot better once we close the daily above this daily order block. Because you want to assume that when we get to this daily order block, to go to a clean chart, you want to assume that when you do happen to get to this daily order block, which I'm pretty sure is a valid order block, I don't need this, I need this. Let me see, daily. Is it going to open? Is it not going to open? Should I go here? There you go. So yeah, it's a daily order block. Once you get to this level, likely it's going to be a rejection to the downside. You want to assume that this is going to hold for the retest into further upside. This is what you want to see if you're bullish. So no matter what we do here, this little breakout took place, right? Get your little Fibonacci level. I'm going fast, guys, because I don't want to spend too much time on this. So 34,000 is probably going to be the max that we're going to see right now. And if you do happen to do something like this, come back down, retest, you want to home that you're bullish, and then you want to go up. In the bearish type of scenario, you go to 34, and then you come back down. Right? Only two options here. Any fair value gaps, massive one over here, 30,373 is what I am eyeing from here. If we do happen to break down and we don't have continuation to the top side. Anyway, from a top perspective up, you want to see, ooh, there's a lot of gaps on top of us, guys. Jesus Christ. I mean, the weekly has a big one too there. Yeah, look at that. The weekly hit this one. Next one is 35.79. This is very interesting. And this weekly order block is down here at 19,017. I don't even want to think about going down there. Rule of thumb, whenever you see a gap like this, under an order block, this is a massive short. This is a massive short. When you fill the gap and you tap the order block, and this is a massive long when you fill the gap and you tap the order block. So if we do something like this, just hear me out, and we fill this gap and we tap this order block, I'm probably going to leverage a lot in this space. I should walk away for like 2 years if we do something like this. I know better than to assume it, especially on a weekly time frame. This works very well on the 15-minute. Just imagine how well it's going to work on the weekly. When you have your order block, come on, man. When you have your order block, and then you have a gap under it, and the candle goes up, fills the gap, taps the order block. This is a massive short, right? It's like the pretty much it's a perfect type of setup. Anyway, so that's what I'm looking at from a higher time perspective. If you look at the oscillators, they are looking very pretty weekly. The only thing that weekly looks bad at, there is no histofire orange. But anyway, weekly is trying to put in a head over here, which could take another roughly about a month and a half to actually start and kick off, which is great because it gives us an opportunity to buy, to accumulate and whatnot. The weekly RSX is starting to look very bullish. We have our div over here. Let me get rid of all these indicators over here. Boom. And we have a weekly div, right? Obviously, the weekly div should give us at least a move back up to retest the breakdown, which is roughly about $37,000, $36,000. You go to the 3-day or 4-day, you already got your agua fires and your curls. You got go to your 3-day, you definitely got your cross. There you go. You go to your 2-day, you have your God mode maybe. I said Godfather. Wow. God mode's only in the daily. That's weird. Wait, hold on, man. Why don't we have God mode on the? Oh, there we go. I'm sorry, Binance. Binance has God mode on the 5-day. The last time we had God mode, let's go to Bitstamp. Last time we had God mode on a 5-day, it was December 17th of 2018. So, yeah, this is Bitstamp versus Binance. But still, though, we haven't had one in a very long time. So it is something that we should start paying attention to. 12-hour looks okay. I'm gonna show you this to you guys. Okay, histo like this, bearish, right? So because it's aligned with the daily. When the daily histo looks like this, where it's coming from a squeeze, when you have orange and red at the same time, look what happened last time. And look what happened last time. Look at these two moves, right? Look what happened last time. This histo dropped us down 36%, 37%. This histo dropped us down roughly about 25%. Do not do not assume that this is going to be a bullish histo. I can't assume it, right? This was a very bullish histo. Now, what's the difference between this and this? Go to your higher time frame. Go to your 3-day. Look, 3-day was already firing. We don't even have one fire in the 3-day, right? So the daily still has this dump in it. I personally think we are somewhere roughly about here. This is where we are, right there. So we're gonna go, personally speaking, go up. Like what we just did right now. Take all the highs. Hopefully we don't die and we continue up. But anyway, and then have a dump. Because this histo right here is bearish, it's not bullish. Keep that in mind. Otherwise, MSTX is starting to look good because if you actually see what the trend bar is doing, trend band is doing, it's looking pretty, man. It's looking beautiful right here. You can get rid of all the algos, go to the trend band. Look at that, right? Making a nice little head, up, down. It's beautiful. So I'm assuming, and don't forget, this is a higher time frame. So if you go to the lower time frame, we officially got above the mid. Last time we were at the mid, we got rejected here. When we got above the mid over here, look what we did. We flew up, right? And we are officially above the mid. So chances are this is going to go to the top. The way it always does. Usually when it gets above the mid, what does it do? It goes to the top. Let me show you guys something. Hold on. Get above the mid, you go to the top. Get above the mid, you go to the top. Get above the mid, you go to the top. Get above the mid, you're going to the top, guys. And then that's gonna be pretty much where you actually see a rejection or a curl back down. So keep in mind, I still think that we have another dump in play. But if you're playing level to level, like close, watch your Wednesday range establish itself. Regarding VWAPs and whatnot, $37,000 is pretty much going to be our our target, if we do happen to get up here, 37,000, 36.8. Other than that, TMA bands, if you look at the higher time frame, this is important. This is very important. I want to show you this to you guys. There you go. Where is the 3-day? 3-day sitting at 38.9. So by the time this thing comes back down, you're probably talking about 37,000. Weekly, 2-week, around the 2-week. Remember we spoke about this, guys? If we break the 2-week mid, you go into the 2-week green. Yeah. This is more important that I want to show you guys. You break the 2-week mid, you go to the green. You break the 2-week mid, you go to the green. You break the You break the 2-week mid, you go to the green. You break the 2-week mid, you go to the green. So everything is like pattern, man. It's like we're playing the same thing every freaking year back to back. And I'm not saying it's bad. All I'm saying is that 25, all I'm saying is that it's an identical type of behavior taking place year after year. So we need accumulation. Now, we're not gonna reverse this. I'll tell you that much. So the only thing I could see right now is, are we gonna accumulate here? It's accumulation box. And I know it's a big box, but this is it. This is your accumulation box. And if you are accumulating, you're not getting above the 2-day, um, the 2-day, the 2-week TMA band. You won't get above it, right? So let it do its thing, and then let it do whatever it wants to do. And I'm still a firm believer that we're doing something like this. This is the channel that we're in. That's what I'm a firm believer that this is the channel that we're in. And as soon as we get above that 37,000, it's going to be a nice little move up to the 50s. All right. So guys, play safe. I think that we are very far away from a macro bottom. Monthly is still going down. I'm not really excited until I see something like this take place, which will be a macro bottom. If you have the indicators, if you have the RSX, the PT RSX, and you see a green at the bottom, and you miss the next bull run, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, this is like by far the easiest visual that you could have. You can't see green in a monthly candle and not assume that we're at a potential macro bottom. And we're not that we're close, because we're not, right? Because we still have roughly about, we're at 39. We still have roughly about like maybe 10 points to go, 10 valued points. So it could take roughly about like 6, 7 months, 5 months. Who knows? I don't know. So just have alerts on there, guys. But we're close for a local bottom, and this could potentially be the local bottom right here. This could potentially be the local bottom. Targeting right now $34,000, and retest this daily thing, come back down. Right, guys. Cheers. Trade safe. Oh, by the way, this is ready to go. So I think John is probably gonna release it sometime. He was trying to get um the logic to work fairly well, so it's not a messy chart, right? Because you don't want to see like boxes everywhere and shit like that. So I'll make another video once he gives me the, see, it's clean. Once he gives me the okay. You can even get rid of the lines, so there's no lines, just boxes, right? You can even do bar color, so you could just see the candle color when it actually turns, when that feature gets flipped. Modify the gap lines. Oh, this is a pretty cool one. Let me show you this. Nice move, guys. Oh no. So highlight gap fill, right? When you click this, it actually highlights the gaps that were tapped into, right? So when you click this, highlight remaining gap, it actually indicates which gap, how much gap is left, which is fucking beautiful. So for example, let me put the lines back on. Look at this. Let me zoom in. Look how beautiful this is. So when the wick goes into the gap, that option tells you that, hey, there's roughly about 3.8% of the gap still remaining, unfilled. So this way you get a visual of how much gap is left, and when if you go to lower time frame, you can see it better. There you go. Look at this. How beautiful this is. You had a gap beneath you, and it filled half the gap, and then it went back up. Right? What else? It's cool. It's cool. I like the way he did it. He did it smart. He did it smart. Where there's actual, like, logic in it versus just smell like it. So put a perfect example, right? Here. Filled half the gap and then he carried on. So we know for a fact once we fill half this gap by $34,000, this is gonna come right back down. Like that's what I'm looking at right now. You know? Um he's working on getting the alerts to work so you could be able to put an alert if there's a fair value gap that got filled or that got formed, right? And then he should be able to release it. But it looks good overall, man. Like he did a really good job. What else do I want to show you guys? Flat opens right before the gap actually takes place. Very smart. Like right here, right? There's a flat open at 35.8 and it's sitting right at the gap. So you know for a fact that once you go up there, it's gonna be very interesting to get um to get a reaction. Flat open sensitivity, you could put like freaking 250. He gave you the option to be able to put as many flat opens as you want, which is awesome. Now you see how you flip this flat open, and now it's acting like support on top of a gap. You know, we have another one all the way up here at $49,000. It's a beautiful visual for you to be able to catch moves. Um, Over here looks good, right? That's pretty much it. I don't want to make the video too long, guys. Trade safe, and yeah. See, when you do figure 250. So trade safe, guys. And if you have any other questions, just DM me. Cheers.